kaibigan, nandito na naman po tayo for another episode of In My Toolbox, your weekly talk show on your personal finance here at PHLV Radio. And the goal in this show, mga kaibigan, is to give you financial information that will be able to help you on your day-to-day financial decisions. We will unbox topics that will hopefully aid you, guide you, and maybe even add to your financial tools. We will tackle important information mostly not taught in school, but is so much needed to empower you financially. And as usual, mga kaibigan, in any idea that will transpire in this show, always consult with your financial advisors, insurance professionals, and of course, yung ating mga tax consultants. All right? My name is Enrico Pobre, your host. I'm a sales, marketing, and trainer, an economist, an entrepreneur, and a financial professional. By the way, guys, if you have some questions, ask them away, on the chat box below. Or if you will be listening to this show on a later time, please feel free to connect with me through Facebook page In My Toolbox, or connect with me via Instagram or LinkedIn, or simply Google my name, Enrico Pobre, and then, you can find a lot of ways on how to connect with me, or just simply email enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com. Ayan naman. Mga kaibigan, of course, before I start, I would like to invite people from Las Vegas. We will be having our event on August 26th. This is going to be in the Pinoy Joint here in West Flamingo. We will be having a financial concert. Allow yourself to discover the I4 retirement plan. We'll be talking about living trust, annuities, turning liabilities to an asset, premium financing. These are the things that we always talk about here in the show. So you will see it live. Yan naman po, no? So it will be about, it will start, the door opens about 5 p.m. Event starts at 6 p.m. to 7:30. It's not a long event. It's going to be a short one. And then by 8, we're done, So I'd like to invite you again, a financial concert this coming August 26 at the Pinoy Joint from 5 to 8 p.m. Ayan naman. Thank you so much, PHLV. Sir Johan, thank you for allowing me to put that ad in here. Ayan naman. Nakita nyo naman ang support ng PHLV Radio. Ganyan kami dito Pamilya. All right. Mga kaibigan, we will be having our topic for today called The Rules of Money. Meron palang rules ang money, no? The rules of money. Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you, money is important. Well, probably some of you will be saying, oh, not always. But let's just say on that context, just for right now, money is important. Well, if you want to make your dreams and desire, in your life to become a reality, well, you must learn to be successful with money. Kasi a lot of things that we do in life, majority, and maybe not everything, but majority of what we do in life, it has something to do or involve it with money. That's why if I may start the show today telling you money is important, let's just use that in that context, diba? So money is important, everyone. So you need to know how to acquire it, or how to maintain it, and how to grow it. In fact, that's just simply saying the 3 phases of money. Siyempre, di ba, ina-acquire mo siya, then you accumulate it, then you grow it, and then of course, the distribution, of course, is going to be part of it. But just for right now, let's learn how to acquire it, how to maintain it, how to grow it, and preserving it, etc. The good thing kasi, that the concept of money, that is the truth, mga kaibigan, right? Maka, the core concept of money really is not really hard. That's the truth. Yung concept is not really even complicated. In fact, they've been the same for so many years, hundreds of years. It's the same really in the concept of money. If you can understand and master the fundamental rules, then you can actually build wealth beyond your wildest dream. Diba? So let's just go ahead and think about, let's play around our mindset at the moment. Think about this. In your lifetime, sa buhay natin. By the way, what inspired me about the rules of money, I was reading this concepts of rules of money by Patrick Bet-David and another person, and I was just trying to compare them on the thinking, the mindset of money. Syempre, with episodes like this, with things that we talk about in this type of a show, syempre we have to look at good materials to be able to impart to everybody. So Ganun ang ginagawa natin. So, and then we compare it. And it, this article about rules of money really hit me. Sabi ko, let's just compare what the mindset of two people about, rules of money. And surprisingly, it is actually very nice to actually learn the mindset. And it's going to be what? Depends on you, how you take it, if it's going to be useful for you or not. And we're all just here going to be learning about these two people's mindset. And then let's just start about this one, about rule of money. Think about this one. In your entire lifetime, okay, sa buong buhay natin, in your entire lifetime, how much money has gone through your hands? Wow, ibang bigat, ano? How much money has gone through your hands? Lahat ng dumaan na pera sa iyo, how much was it? Well, to simply put, what I mean is this. For example, maybe you had about $70,000 last year, or when you were 28 years old, you got your first check of $100 or whatever. Think about this. You add those times that you started making money up until today, how much money have you really come up with? See? So think about it. Yeah, well, kahit approximation. Just to tickle our mind a little bit. How much do you think is the total amount of money that you have actually, garnered all of these years? What's your number, really, is the question. It could be what? $400,000, $500,000, or $1.9 million, $6 million, $10 million. Depending on you guys listening to me, we may all have different amount of money that we have gathered or earned all our lives, right? So, depending talaga on our experiences too. But nonetheless, the question is, how much was that money that you were able to earn during your lifetime? Okay? So that's the first question. Okay. If you have the number right now, the second question is, how much left in your wallet? Nako, yun ang problema, di ba? How much left is in your wallet? So I'm not talking about, a bank or a credit card company, how much left is in your wallet. Also, the other thing that I would want to make sure that you understand this one, don't include yung mga credit card limit nyo. That's not part of it, So, meaning, how much money you've earned all your life and how much was left today. So, basically, you're going to be talking about your savings. So, how much savings do you have left? If you are unhappy with your answer, well, the reason is very, very simple. If you're very unhappy with your answer, it's because you don't know how, you don't know how to play the money game. That's the real reason. That's why we're going to be talking about the rules of money today with two different people on their mindset, and let's go over them, and how you can actually relate to those ideas that they have, the rules of money. Kasi basically, if you're unhappy to the total or to the savings that you may have, by the way, guys, some probably or most people maybe listening to this show right now, you may have nothing left, even though you put a lot of hard work all these years making money. You may be even negative because you have a lot of debt, right? So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is we would like to know the mindset of these people about money. And being unhappy, according to Patrick Bet-David, he said that, basically it's very simple answer if you're unhappy with the answer that you have right now, because we do not know how to play the money game. What? Money game? Yeah. They treat this as a money game. It's as simple as that, So that's the reason why I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about this, the two mindset that I've actually researched, and just talking about the rules of money. And I think it's going to be very useful for all of us. They're based on experiences, mistakes, successes, in their lives that probably that position themselves to talk about rules of money, especially when a person has left, there's no money left in the pocket. So this is the reason why I want to talk to you about that. So let's talk about a mindset of, hey, rule of money. Number one, probably he said that the other person said that you just have to what? To save money. Well, Enrico, that's very easy. Again, guys, we may know what save money is, But the biggest gap in the world, again, according to John Maxwell, is what? The knowing and the doing. You may know the meaning of saving money, but the actual question is, are you really saving money? So just like, when you say save money, the first money rule probably is you have to pay yourself first. Wow, Enrico, what do you mean pay yourself first? Exactly, guys, even though probably you've heard this too many times in your lifetime, paying yourself first. But the question really is, number one, do you know how to pay yourself? Number two, are you going to allow to pay yourself? Number three, do you really have the discipline to pay yourself? It's probably easier said than done. But the truth is, if you know how to pay yourself first, that's going to be a very, very big change in your money structure, and how you will actually be dealing with money. Most people clearly don't do this, paying themselves first. When you buy a new iPhone, you're giving money to what? To iPhone. When you order a coffee in Starbucks, you're giving money to Starbucks. So that's giving away money, not keeping it. If you kind of think about that, right? So what do you mean by that is you pay yourself first. For example, if you have a salary of $1,000, say, you allot 10% to pay yourself first before you start paying all your bills. Well, Enrico, that's kind of hard, especially nowadays that I'm paycheck to paycheck, or sometimes, my salary is not even enough. It's easier really said and done. But what we're trying to talk about here today, guys, is what? Of course, making an income, increasing cash flow is a different idea, right? So that's a separate thing. But what I'm trying today to talk to you guys about today, about this type of a mindset, is to pay yourself first. Again, I think that's a great idea. The way to pay yourself first is to find a way to keep it. So, ibig sabihin, for example, you have a lot of ways you have to be creative when saving money. I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you have a car loan. And your car, you paid it off already after 6 years. Say you're paying $300 every month for the last 6 years. Well, you live off anyway what's remaining, right? What's remaining. So that $300, once you pay off your car, what do? That $300, you put it aside as if you're still paying your car. In the first place, guys, you are already so used of paying $300 for the last 6 years. Basically, you don't really need it, right? So once you pay off your car, treat it as if you're still paying paying your car, even though you paid it off already. Just get an account, open an account that you just keep on putting $300 there forever. See, that's one way of thinking, how to find a way to keep it. See, that's exactly. Or any debt that you actually paid off. It can be a credit card that you paid off already, or even a house that you already paid off. You lived off anyway with those expenses. Now, once you paid it off, you just keep on putting it on the side. Now, I just showed you how to save money. And we just found a way on how to keep it. See, the entire process, guys, is actually a good wealth building for you. And that ability to do that, I'm telling you, is going to be changing your financial structure, and definitely it will add more to your net worth. Galing, So that's exactly what saving money is all about. Well, if you're not in that position, again, going back to the basics, right? Like the 1/10 of what you earned, put it aside first and make it as a default. So you pay yourself first when the salary comes in, get 10%, put it aside, and whatever is left, you live off that. So it means that you have to what? If it means that you have to decrease your leisurely expenses, well, that's, I think, what you have to do. If the intention really is to put money aside, or just to make the idea of saving money, to make it work for you, and then of course, sino naman na makikinabang nyo, it's going to be, you will be the one who's going to be benefiting it, right? So that's the first idea of the rule of money. Pay yourself first. Okay, number two, don't spend more than you need. Well, guys, again, this is very basic. Don't spend what you actually that is more than that is more than what you need. So this is just essentially learning to live within your means and avoiding, again, Take note of this one, guys. Live within your means and avoiding lifestyle creep. I'll explain a little bit about that later on. But just right now, guys, there's always going to be a natural urge to want to spend more, as your income increases. Okay, so what do you mean by this? For example, your salary this month, or for last year is $5,000 a month. So you're living off a $5,000 a month income, right? Now, when next year comes, your salary, for some other for whatever reason, your salary is $10,000 a month already. Well, natural urge of a person is to spend on the level of a $10,000. This is exactly what I was trying to say. Avoiding the lifestyle creep, because that urge you have to resist if you want to grow your wealth. If you were living off already on a $5,000 income, and you actually got a $10,000 income next year, you need to know how to keep that lifestyle on a $5,000, so the increase of your salary or whatever income, wherever it's going to come from, is going to be your way to grow your wealth. So again, if your income again increases $10,000, that $5,000 growth, stop doing, going extra vacation, or going vacation to an exotic location because I have an extra $5,000 today, or start buying new furnitures or new TV. Well, that's going to be burning you up, guys, because you just spend whatever is supposed to be the thing that's going to be building your wealth. But regrettably, guys, the thing that I'm telling you right now is really not common. Especially these people, according to the research that they did, these people in New York, or that are surgeon, lawyers, bankers, it's actually good to look at these people, but who knows, they may have a negative net worth, all because they could not resist the urge of constantly upgrading their lifestyle. Every time that the income increases, they upgrade their lifestyle too. When you upgrade your lifestyle, expenses goes up too. See, that's the reason why it's very important to understand to live within your means. I know you have the means, right? But then again, avoiding the lifestyle creep at the same time. Spending less than you earn and avoiding the lifestyle creep will rapidly, again, the term here is rapidly increasing your wealth. Don't you think so, guys? What do you think? It makes sense, diba? Again, live within live within your means, and then avoiding a lifestyle creep. This will rapidly increase your wealth. And always make sure that your total expenses, always, it's just a matter of writing it. If you're not good at it, maybe your spouse is good at it, give it to her, leverage the skill. If you're not that type of a person, make sure that the total expenses are going to be lower, always lower than your income. Not just by a small margin. We call it a comfortable margin. So if your income again is $5,000, and then your expenses, you can lower it to $4,000, right? Now that $1,000, it's if that's the definition of a comfortable margin, then keep it that way. When your income increases, only increase your spending a little amount, and then save the rest. You have to what? Of course, there's a lot of discipline when you position yourself into this one. Every extra dollar that you get, will add to your wealth. Again, guys, every time that you get an extra dollar that you can save will always be added into your wealth. And every time you increase your income, the speed at which your wealth grows will also increase. Every time you add a dollar, the speed increases, right? And that's true to the key to building up your wealth. Okay, let's talk about the third one here. Invest your savings. Again, one is keeping, the second part is growing. Okay, so we already told you, I already told you that, you can actually save money, but the next question is, let's grow it. Let's not just keep it, in a shoebox. Not unless your shoebox is a Hermes. Have have you guys heard about that, guys? Oh, I keep my money in my shoebox. What's your shoebox? Is a Hermes or a Nike? Kidding aside, guys. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is when you have a way now on how to save your money, now you need to understand how to invest it. See, make it grow. Make the money work for you. Cliche as it may sound, guys, that we really have to make our money work for us. Okay, so saving money, is a good thing. Actually, it's the best, right? But of course, there's a lot of ways. It's easier, it's easier for me to say that, but there's a lot of discipline, tons of discipline attached to it, and of course, we need to learn where to put it, safely. But this will be a great idea to people that has regular income. Otherwise, it will be hard to build up your wealth. But but the whole idea here is if you have extra income, the one that we were talking about a while ago. Now you start investing. So you should be investing as much of your savings as possible. Kanina, we talked about $4,000. If you have $1,000, what you call that? A comfortable margin. Now, you have that savings of $1,000. So where are you going to be putting it to allow it to grow? Again, I mentioned one is saving. The other one is what? To grow it. Or investing it. So now once you have a savings, let's make that money work for us. And, probably you can put it to stocks, to bonds, to real estate, precious metals. All of these are investments that, are 1,000 of years old already. And a lot of people, have been doing that. You might want to, you may be one of them too, guys, right? So that's great. Kudos to you if you're doing it already. But for some, that's how to start growing your money. You have to understand a little bit of this, right? Or get a financial advisor, sit down with them and see how they can help you grow that money. Or probably if you have saved enough, you can buy assets. This is what you call asset building. Again, you have saving money, okay? You can save money. Now you're investing money to stocks, bonds, real estate, etc. And the other thing too is what? To create an asset. This is what you call asset building. And these assets will grow in value. And it's growing in value even though you are sleeping. Can you imagine? Your money is actually making money for you even though you're sleeping with no additional time and effort from you. See? Now, you're making your money work for you. I know, and I can position ourselves, all of us here right now in the show, it's really hard to make money, right? Well, if you start earning money, it's great. Now, we actually use this money to what? To work for us. So now you're working, your money is working for you because you have an investment. That's a very, very nice scenario, right? So if you have money sitting in the bank, try to look for ways where you can use it to buy an asset with better growth potential. Again, so we already have a saving. Now we put it in investment. Now we would want to know if there is a good or a better growth potential, and you would want to know, of course, the safety net of that platform, right? And on top of that, you need to understand, or if you already know, take advantage of the compounding interest of your money. So if you put it into a certain platform that has a compounding interest, well, that's a different story, So when there's a compounding interest, meaning your money will earn interest and then you get an interest on top of an interest, that's what you call compounding. See, now your money is working for you double. So I'm going to make a clear picture here that I'll tell you guys, okay? So you have a savings. Now, that savings you put in a platform that will grow. Again, it can be stocks, it can be bonds, in real estate, precious metals, or whatever platform that you see out there. Now, as long as you see that it's actually safe and there's a good return, but take advantage of the compounding interest because your interest is actually growing interest over interest over interest, Or another thing that you may want to consider is, a dividend paying platform. Use that money to buy, and then if you have that, you might want to use that money to buy more assets for you. Now you have a platform that's giving you dividends. Now this dividends, you can actually invest it to get more assets for you. Well, your money makes you money, and that new money makes you even more money. Well, I'm telling you guys, It's going to be a very beautiful snowball of wealth. Alam niyo yung snowball, di ba? Yung maliit lang, tapos gumagano, lumalaki, 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 lumalaki. That's how it is, guys, with regard to building your wealth. It may sound so simple as I've actually been telling you, but it's okay. It may sound complicated. It's okay as well. All you need to do, guys, is to make sure that you have a good, sound decision, and you might want to talk to somebody who actually knows, all about this one, that, the right person to talk to you about this. Well, that's number 3. Number 4, according to this person, said, avoid risky investments. Oh, Enrico, I already know that. Well, in my entire career, guys, I've seen people like that. Avoid risky investments. Okay. Oh, Enrico, I already know that. But when you start looking at their financials, you would see. In fact, I had a client. He has $1 million in stocks, and he's been putting it. It's actually there for over 10 years, and he's saying, Enrico, it's growing. Anyway, it's growing. Well, he was 10 years younger at the time. Now he's a little bit older. He's actually 74 now. And he was hit a few months ago and lost tons of money. Now, how do you think he can recover for the next 10 years again, just to get it back to where it was before? That's exactly what I was talking about avoiding investments. And there are many different options that you can see out there to, where you can actually invest your money. But the biggest thing, and what I'm trying to talk about in this 4th idea, is to avoid the loss of your principal. Okay? What do you mean by this? If that guy's principal is $1 million, and then it just keeps on growing, $1.5 million, after so many years, as long as that principal is intact, that's what you call a principal protection. You would want to find a platform that can actually avoid you losing your principal. As what I remember this. What Warren Buffett once told us. There's 2 rules of money. Guys, remember this, right? So, what are those 2 rules that Warren Buffett said? Rule number 1: never lose money. See, Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest person in the world, right? You never lose money. That's rule number 1. Number 2, what's rule number 2? Never forget rule number 1. That's it. Right? So, exactly, guys, because losing your principal means that the hard work you put it into a platform, you've earned that money so hard, it just went down to the toilet. Think about that, guys, right? So you would want to see, well, Enrico, I'm a macho man. I can take all the I remember another client of mine, where I came from before. Just to avoid the conversation, he just said, oh, I can afford to lose the money. Are you kidding me? You don't say that just because, guys. Think about what you say. We cannot afford to lose money. Even Warren Buffett said, right? Never lose money and never forget that rule number 1. And this person just said, okay, it's okay for me to lose money. No, it doesn't work like that. And that's terrible, You should always pick an investment that you have done thorough research. You have to look at investment that you had thorough research on, and that you are confident that this will actually grow in value. Of course, the human element will always be part of it. We make mistakes. That's the reason why I always say, sit down with a person who has the expertise. Who has the expertise and who actually has the experience already. If the potential growth is slower, at least make sure that you won't lose money. Either way, guys, the main rule here is what we're talking about is never to lose the principal. So look for a platform that protects the principal. There are platforms out there that can offer you principal protection. Now, of course, all investments, I agree with this, that it will all come with some form of a risk, That's the reason why it's actually an investment. There's always going to be a risk attached to them. The higher the potential reward, the more the risk of loss. We already know that, guys, right? Now, the key is to what? To strike a balance. Take some risks that you can big rewards from, but don't do it with all of your saved money. It's okay. When I was talking to my clients in Europe, when I was there, when I was living there for a while, I always tell them, if you want to understand how much you would want to put in a risky investment, or a conservative investment, or in a safe platform, I always tell them about rule of 100. Okay, so this might be applicable to you guys as well. So at least you have a guide. It may not be perfect, but at least you have a guide. So we call it a rule of 100. If you subtract 100 from your age, that's how much you can actually, the ratio of how much you put into a volatile platform into a safe platform. So if you're 60 years old, you would want to make sure that 60% of all of your assets are already what? In a conservative investment. You want to make sure that you play safe already. 40% you can still play on. So again, remember guys, rule of 100, this might be able to help you decide how much will go to somewhere, right? So rule of 100. So again, put most of your investment in rock solid, just like that. Kanina I was talking to you about rule of 100. That's 60%. Make sure that it's a rock solid asset already, and then you can take few risks to get bigger rewards on the 40%. That's what it means. But most importantly, mga kaibigan, always do your research before buying any kind of assets. A lot of people are going after the market and say, hey, talk to me because I can actually build your asset, help you grow your money, etc., etc. Give all of these flowery words. That's okay. That's okay. Well, let's listen to them. Let's listen to their pitch. It may be a sales pitch or whatever, however you would want to take it. That's okay. As long as you do your research before you get into that kind of an asset or an investment. Make sure that the risk justifies the potential reward. And of course, you want to make sure that there's a lot of clarity of what is being offered to you. And then those rewards are based on, of course, reality, realistic value. Sometimes kasi, of course, our reality or, each person has different reality. That depends on the blueprint of their life. Diba? Ganun naman yun eh. That depends on how we grew up. That's where usually our reality is based on. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is you want to make sure, it's very basic naman, that the risk justifies the potential reward. And those rewards are based on what? Facts or what do you call this? A person that you can leverage on that has the expertise on what you're actually going to be deciding on. If something sounds too good to be true, well, probably it is. Then again, still do the research. Okay, number 5, guys. Your home is an asset, sabi dito. The mindset is make your dwelling a profitable investment. So, ibig sabihin, your home is an asset. So, out of all the expenditure that one person makes in their life, the house or your home is usually the largest. Look at your finances right now. Look at your assets. Look at the bulk of your expenses. Usually, it all entails with the house, diba? So, usually the largest really of expenditure is the house. No? So, although it will be a huge advantage to you if you can somehow leverage the money that you put towards your home to your advantage. So you can actually allow yourself to earn more money like any other asset. Of course, your house is your asset, But then again, you might want to know how to leverage this and use this as leverage for your asset. The most common way to leverage your home is to make money is what? The most common way to leverage your home to make money is what? To buy a house, another house, There's an equity in the house. You can use that equity, buy a house, or, on top of that, you can upgrade them through renovations as well. You can put an upgrade inside your own house. to add value to the house. Again, sit down with a realtor, a person who knows real estate. They can give you more information about what I'm trying to tell you. But just a logic tells me, if you put an upgrade, maybe, that can actually add value to your house. The best part, your primary home often comes with numerous tax advantages. You have to know the tax advantages of owning a home. That being said, buying a house is not the end-all be-all strategy. It can also be what? Renting then, That depends on how you do kasi your finances and how you look at it. Renting a home can also be a viable option. I'm not saying it's not, because some people will see it differently than those people that has a their own house, especially now renting because it's a short term. The money you save by renting and not paying a mortgage can be invested in other places. Again, we talked about what? Stocks, we talked about bonds. For today, there are people who are putting money into cryptocurrencies, which I'm not really, an expert on. But again, talk to the person who understands those and see it's going to be a viable platform for you. And, and more in order to diversify your assets kasi you have a house now, you have stocks, you have bonds, you have cryptocurrency. At least there's diversification already. The prices of houses in some major cities are usually so high that renting and investing the spare money actually makes you more wealthy over the long term. Think about that, diba? So there are some people who are doing that. But if I were you guys, look at some research on renting versus buying a house calculators so you can actually see and you can actually have a very sound decision, However it is, guys, again, leverage that structure or your way of leveraging home to grow your wealth. Okay, number 6, sabi nila rito, retirement planning. Of course, we talked too many episodes already about retirement planning. O nga pala, for all of these people who are listening today, have you actually learned something with all those episodes that we have in My Toolbox? Baka lang naman, guwapo si Enrico, kaya makikinig ka. Joke lang. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is, have we learned so far with those episodes that we have in My Toolbox in growing your wealth, protecting your wealth, and distribution of wealth, etc. I hope you guys did, Kasi dito, retirement planning, again, according to this person, no one works forever. Okay? Retirement is a reality. One day, you will just wake up and you say, I'm retired. What am I gonna do? So that's a different story. And getting old, take note of this, guys. Getting old is also a reality. So if you talk about getting old and it's a reality, it means that your effort, your energy, during the times that you were, of course, younger, is not going to be the same when the time comes. So you don't have the same agility, the same energy. So I don't think, guys, that it's going to be the same ever again after that. So one day you wake up, oh my God, I could just realize I'm getting old. Oh, well, look at this, guys. There's nothing wrong about that. What I'm trying to say here is, what's wrong if you're not able to position yourself when the time comes and you don't have a retirement plan? Because we will all be old one day. Perhaps, some of us still able to work, but it's not going to be the same level. So, Enrico, I can still push. Enrico, I can still carry. Enrico, I can still walk, but it's going to be different than your younger years. So it is very important to plan for retirement plan. So when you have money invested in assets, you should be keeping as much of that money invested for as long as possible. We talked about asset building kanina, right? So we're talking about asset building. Are you guys building an asset today? Or are we still in a position where it's actually paycheck to paycheck? I'm not, there's nothing wrong, again, guys. It's just that this has to be an eye-opener that retirement is real, getting old is real. So we have to position ourselves today to build towards that reality. So money invested should be what? Should be, that we can keep and make money for us when the time comes. So if you start to take out the money before retirement to spend, wow, especially when you start spending it lavishly, Well, don't surprise yourself, guys, that you may find yourself out of money when the time comes and when the time that you actually need it. You know, and this is what I'm talking about is the later years that you can't work anymore to earn it. And on top of that, time will work to your advantage with asset growth. So the earlier that you actually start building your asset, again, remember the compounding effect a while ago? It will just keep on growing and growing, 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 growing up until the time that you actually what? Save enough of money and it will actually be your retirement plan. Voila. You just did a great job. You have to pat yourself on the back saying, I think I did a great job. So one day when you actually realize that you're old and you're retired and you say, it doesn't change anything because I did a great job in building for what's to come. See, you have to also look at, you start researching about platforms that will help you build your funds on a compounding interest, that supports that. And then, of course, you would want to look at the tax advantages on your retirement plan or a tax-free savings account, etc. These are great things to leverage out there when you start putting your retirement plan together. If there is any way to increase your methods of getting money and reducing your taxes while you don't work, that's something that you would want to check out, right? That's what you call tax advantages. Use every advantage that you can when it comes to, long-term wealth building. We cannot do it, overnight. Again, the chances of building it over time than winning one time in casino, one big time or a lottery, I think I'd rather go, start saving today, in the next 15 years, right? So even 1% gain will add over time. It will add big, I'm telling you guys, over time, especially if you understand what compounding interest or the rule of 72 is all about. Another thing here, in about wealth building or in the rules of money is to strive to become wiser and more skilled. What? Enrico, I'm already older. Oh, you should be wiser and skilled. Oh, by the way, I always tell this one, getting older is not an option, but getting matured is something else. Okay, so strive to become wiser and more skilled. At the end of the day, guys, you are paid in an amount that you have the skill to earn. Totoo naman yun, di ba? You are actually being paid in the amount that you have the skill to earn. If you want to most of the time, So, if you want to increase your income and make more money, mga kaibigan, mga kap, then you need to become wiser and more skilled so that your contributions are worth more. Ganun lang yun. You have to increase your skill. You have to become wiser so that, they can actually what? Give you more out of you. Ganun lang naman yun. So, you can pay for, probably what I'm trying to say here is to improve yourself. You can pay for an online or night classes to upgrade your credentials. That will add more to your skill sets. Therefore, it equates to more money, right? You can study new technical skills on your own. Something probably you've never did before. If you don't know how to do cybersecurity, you can look for an online courses there or night courses that can increase your skill sets, right? So I just gave you an example there. Or you can actually read books to learn more subtle yet powerful soft skill sets. You're improving yourself. Soft skill sets, by the way, is a very important thing. Especially developing yourself, especially in the corporate world. You can go to, networking events. There's a lot of free networking events all over. Not only here in Las Vegas, guys, all over. Now, why? Because you get to commune with other people, and learn from them as well, thus increasing your what? Your skill sets, your mindset. You change your mindset. Anything that can increase your value. That's what I'm trying to say. Anything that will increase your value to the society. It's all about, guys, value. If you have the value, if you have the solution, well, somebody's looking for that value and that's for solution. Bam! That's how you make money. Because you will see in the society, these people are willing to pay you more. So you have to increase your skill sets and you have to increase, of course, your knowledge and become wiser. The kind of learning should be targeted. What do you mean by this? You have to look at, certain things that will of course, depend on your capacity. You should know your capacity, but of course, everything starts with desires, right? And anything can be possible. That nonetheless, it should be targeted. What skill sets or technical skill set do you would want to add on to elevate and put more value to yourself? If you go read the book naman about spaceships, but you work in sales, it's not targeted kasi there's no correlation between the two. It won't really help you more, it will not help you make more money, unless, unless you're selling spaceships. So, you have to look at the potential return on investment for every skill upgrade. Yun naman, tawag dito, you have to have a targeted, you have to have a learning or targeted learning ang tawag doon, di ba? So, that's the reason why you just don't go out there. Make sure that, it has a return on investment on the skill set that you would want to upgrade yourself into. So, that way, you're always positioning yourself in a way that it increases your income. You have to make sure that you position yourself on the stronger side. Tawag natin dito strong position. Not just because. Diba? So, yun po yung those are the ideas that I got from this person's mindset. Well, I'm telling you guys, it's actually great. It may be as easy as it may sound, but then again, the biggest gap in the world, knowing and doing. Are we gonna be doing it? Again, I'm just adding some insights to you guys about the rules of money from a certain mindset. Let's just look at the other mindset naman of a person on a like Patrick Bet-David, and it's actually very interesting reading and listening to his idea about the rules of money. Ang sabi naman niya dito, the rule of money, we all know that money is important, right? But sa kanya, ang sabi niya, the number one rule of money, which is the most important one, that it's the one that you have to buy into immediately. Again, sabi dito, immediately. Okay? Rule number one, which is the most important one, and this is the one that you have to buy into immediately. It's very simple. Sabi niya, money is a game. You may want to fight it, but regardless of what you do, it's a rule. That's just the way it is. The rule number one, it's a game. Regardless. And the rule is that you have to play the money game. What, Enrico? Money is a game? Yeah. Yun ang sabi niya. It is actually a money game that you really have to play it right. The great thing about any game is that no matter what game you play, you eventually get good at it. Yun naman ang maganda rito. Because you keep on practicing and practicing the money game, you keep on practicing and practicing the money game, eventually you become good at it. See, it's a very different mindset. Kanina, di ba? It's a very subtle, ways of a mindset about rule of money. Dito naman, it's kind of different. So they treat you thou should have, or all of us, we should treat the money as a game. So you are in a money game. Eventually, if you keep on playing it, you become good at it. See? Now, for example, if you've never played chess, and of course, you don't know how to play chess. But if you start learning it and you play 100 times, I'm telling you, you probably beat somebody out there because you become great at it. You start learning it and you develop little skill sets along the way, and you can beat someone out there, and now you become great and you start to become great with playing of the chess, right? So, well, if for example, a Monopoly, sabi niya, if you play a Monopoly 1,000 times, right? And then somebody played it 3 times, well, the person who played that Monopoly 1,000 times will definitely beat the person who played it only for 3 times. That's exactly what the money game is all about, So what's the great thing about the money game is that it can be learned. And number 2, once it's a learnable skill, and then you keep on playing it, I bet you we can all be good on the money game. See, that's a very different mindset. Another mindset about the rules of money. Don't be a hater of money. Oh, meron mang ganon? Do you hate money? No, probably. Put in the chat box, mga kaibigan. Do you hate money or do you love money? It can be either. But then again, he was trying to say here, don't be a hater of money. Ibig lang sabihin dito, if you hate money, you'll never get money. Why? Because money doesn't like haters. What? money has feelings. If you could say, the mindset here is, if you constantly say things like, money doesn't grow on trees. You've heard of that before, right? Money doesn't grow money doesn't grow on trees. Or only rich people are can afford this and that, Well, money responds by saying, you're right. See? So you don't allow yourself be haters of money. There's nothing really wrong, about money. In fact, this is how I see it. If the character of a person, all right, augments what money is. What do you mean by that? If you're kind and you have a lot of money, you become kinder. See? And now, if you are, if you have, greed sa money, well, if you have lots of money, you can become greedier. Sino ang kinder and greedier dyan? Right? So, ganun lang yon. Money augments the character of a person. Ganun lang yun. It just comes out. It's not the money. There's nothing wrong with money. It's just a matter of the character of the person. If you have more money, you're kind, you're kinder. If you are actually if you have greed, you're going to become greedier. Money, it's almost like if you go on a date with an attractive girl and you tell her you don't like attractive girls and that, don't know a lot about philosophy. Yeah, it doesn't correlate. You say that, all they care is about their good looks, doing makeup and working out. What do you think will be the girl's response? Dude, I put on makeup, I work out every day to stay in shape. But I also like other things in life. But you know what? You're right. You're not attracted to me and I don't like you. So what happens? She goes look another guy. See? Kasi what you said is you don't like attractive girls. See? Well, you have to put that in mind, guys, that you cannot be haters of money. You have to love it so it becomes what? It can love you back as well. See, that's a different mindset that I'm telling you about, guys, about the rule of money. Another thing, money, it's a doubles game. I want you to listen carefully about this one, guys, okay? Money is a doubles game. Maybe you guys already familiar, Makap, maybe you are familiar already with the doubles of money. It means that the rule of 72. Again, if you understand the rule of 72, this is what the doubles of money means, okay? So, what you would want to do is, the entire game of money is about, again, money is a game. Now, if you keep on doing that, you become good at it. But another thing that you have to understand that in money is a game is that the game is about doubling your money. Kailangan daw maging doble ang pera mo. What do you mean by doubling your money? It's very simple. If you have $1,000 cash in the bank, you are 10 doubles away from having $1 million. What? What do you mean by that? Again, I'm going to explain later on, okay? By the way, while I'm talking, guys, prepare your calculator. Mga kapa, get now your calculator. I'm going to count in 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Madali naman, nasa smartphone niyo yan. You have it in smartphone, okay? I'm going to tell you how it means later on. Okay, again, if you have $1,000 in cash in your bank account, you have 10 doubles away from having $1 million. Now, you're 5 doubles away from $32,000. You're 13 doubles away from having $8.1 million and 14 doubles away from $16 million. Okay? Medyo complicated when you look at it, when the sound of it parang complicated. So, the question here, guys, we have the money game, and the money game is all about doubling your money. So the question is, if you have money today, how soon can you double your money? There you go. Okay? So, this is how it works, guys. So, 2 things that I would want for you guys to understand. Let's talk about, this is all about compounding interest. This is all about the rule of 72. The rule of 72 states that if you divide, your money in any interest rate, the number will be the number that will tell you when your money will double. Okay? So, if your if you divide it by 72, I mean, right? So if you have 1%, if you divide 72 by 1%, so it means that your money doubles every what? 72 years. So if you have $10,000 a day, after 72 years, your money becomes $20,000. That's what it means. So going back to my example here, if you have $1,000 in cash in your bank, right? You are 5 doubles away from $32,000. So, guys, with your calculator right now, put $1,000 there, 1000. Now you multiply that by 2. Are you doing that now? All right. And then you click the equal sign 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you see, that's $32,000. So that's what the double game is all about. You know, how much, if I put that $1,000 and doubles it every day, how much will it be in 5 years? That's $32,000. So then if you already have $1,000 in your account, then, well, you just have to know now how many years that you can actually double your money. So building wealth is a piece of cake when you understand the doubles game, right? So that's another mindset that, Patrick Bet-David is trying to tell us about the rules of money. I know we can talk a lot of rules of money in this show, guys, but I'm just giving you, some different mindsets of people, 2 different people about the rules of money. I'm going to give you another one before we end the show, So let's talk about seduction. What? Seduction? Oh my God. Oh well, guys, listen to me first, all right? Let me just explain to you about seduction. Money likes to be seduced. My God, Enrico, I don't even know how to seduce. Okay. Money is attracted to seducers. Sorry, guys, I just have to give the example in what I read. Just like a woman, doesn't like a desperate man. Ganun lang naman yun. They don't want a desperate man. Money doesn't like a desperate people. So ganun lang yun. Money doesn't like desperate people. Money is not attracted to desperate people that want it so bad because they want to show it off to everybody. There you go. That's the key. Money is not attracted to desperate people that want it so bad that they want to show it off to everybody. You need to seduce money. When you do, all of a sudden, the money will say, "Oh, I like this guy." "Oh, I like this girl." Okay? "Oh, I'm turned on by you." No. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is you need to know how to seduce money. So don't don't let money seduce you. Rather, you seduce money. Once you learn the seduction game with money, again, kanina, money is a game, so it's a money game. Now it's a seduction game with money. All of a sudden, if you know how to do that, money will start coming from you all over the place that you don't even know it's gonna hit you. And I'll take it anytime, right? So because money is turned on by people that know exactly what they're doing. By the way, the more that you learn how to seduce money, you'll get better at this game as well. Of course, money is always you just have to understand, it's a different perspective. I've told you, but you just have to understand and learn what it really means, how to seduce money. And another thing that I can add on here is also timing. Timing is a very important role, when it comes to the money, when it comes to money game. It also has to have a right timing. Well, another thing that, this guy has said that, that boredom, money is boredom. And he's actually explaining about what boredom means. Money needs to be moved. See? It has to keep on moving. If a girl is bored with you, she leaves you. I like this example. Because, well, you're too boring. The same true is for men. When people get bored, they leave. Money doesn't like to be bored. What it means is that money stays in the checking account. Look again. If money stays in checking account, the money goes to somebody that knows how to use it. Who is this? Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. See, again, if your money stays in the checking account, the money says, oh, I'm bored here. But, guys, look at this. The money goes to somebody that knows how to use it. And definitely that's not you. Money doesn't like to stay somewhere that it is not working. Money has to what? To keep on moving, keep on moving. So it goes to someone else that knows how to what? To play the money game. Regrettably, guys, you or me, we do not know what it means to how to move money. Your money's going to be bored. Somebody's going to use it and make it work for them. And we don't like that. So you have to make sure that money is always moving to you, working for you, and doing something to create more money for you. Again, you want to make sure, guys, that you have to have this money always moving for you, not for somebody else, right? Moving and working for you, and doing something to create more money for you. It's all about for you. See? Because why? It's not being selfish. That is your hard-earned money. Make sense, guys? So I like a different perspective again on the rules of money. I love this one too about the secret account. Okay? The secret account is, he says here, you have to have always a secret account. Let me just go back to how I started the show today, guys. What I was trying to tell you, saving is another thing. Income is another thing, right? How can you save if you don't have an income? So we have to increase it. So what's a secret account? This is an account that no one else, including your spouse, your parents, your best friend, your sibling, knows about. That's why it's secret account. I'm not actually pushing you guys to hide something, against the will of your loved ones. No. What I'm trying to, when I was reading this, is the secret account is what you call a crisis account. And it could be cash, or it's an account that's sitting out, somewhere out there that no one else knows about. And you say, oh, and Pat, he said here, Patrick, but David said, it's there's what you call a boredom. Money doesn't like boredom. Well, I know that already. Okay, so he said, we know that we don't want our money to just stay there and not move for you. But this is a different story. You have to have a crisis account that that's not your emergency fund. Again, emergency fund, we discussed it a long time ago. But here is what you call a crisis account that nobody knows, but you. So a secret account can be a tool when the time comes, difficult time comes, that you can actually pull from and save you from whatever financial crisis you're going to be in. This can actually put you back to where you should be, just enough to restart your whole life again. That's what you call crisis account. So, or a secret account. Okay? And, another mindset here is he said, don't fly first class. Who loves to fly first class here? Well, that depends on you. You can always fly first class. If you want to, that's okay. Sometimes people even fly first class even though they don't afford it, But, well, it is your choice at the end of the day. But the thing that he was trying to say here is, don't pay for first class ticket until you have $10 million in your bank. Wow. That's a good thing, right? Can you imagine, people spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a flight when they can actually spend $400 only? So that's exactly what it means by don't pay for first class in an airplane. So that's the reason why, guys, if this could always be not just the first class in the airplane. You can actually put the application here about how you choose to buy a car. Don't buy a car that you cannot afford, etc. It's just it's just an example anyway of a mindset of don't spend what you are not don't what's just living within your means only. And then what was that? The other thing that we told you, guys, a while ago? Avoid lifestyle creep. And that's exactly what it is, right? So another thing, too, that you have to understand is what? Taxation, So you need, he calls it as a comp plan. You need to know what your comp plan is. It means that comp plan is your taxes. You study how taxes is actually is working against you. Because I'm going to give you guys a good example. Business owners here in the United States, favors, in taxation. Why? Because business owners create jobs. So if you actually create jobs, you get tax benefits, and, creating jobs, of course, will add, will actually increase the movement of the economy. That's why business owners enjoys these tax benefits. That's the reason why, guys, if I may just advise you, you may have work, you might want also to be what? To be an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur has a lot of tax benefits. And that's what I'm talking to you about the comp plan. What taxes is in your compensation. So, you have to position yourself properly to know how taxes is affecting your income or your way of earning funds or earning income, and do you have, I have to ask you today, guys, do you have a way of doing it today? Probably you may want to consider, Enrico, I'm too much, my time is just so limited, I cannot do anything, right? Probably you might want to start to think about a home-based business, so home-based business can actually what? Help you with your tax benefits as well. So guys, probably this is going to be my last item for today with regard to the rules of money. We can talk a lot of things about rules of money. I enjoy reading this. You might want to read it too. Go Google some or go to YouTube that talks about rules of money just to understand it, learn from it. Of course, again, the thing that I was telling you today, you have to do a lot of research. There's another thing here that says the end of the world mentality. Well, we can always listen to the end of world mentality, CNN, Fox News, all of these are paid to sell crisis. I don't know, it's just the way it is. They pay, they talk about all of this crisis, and you have to be ready for a crisis. That's the whole point about this one. You have to have that end of the world mentality, and when you have that mentality of end of the world, you have to be ready for those types of crises. And why is that going to help you in the rule of money? Well, a lot of times people are fearful. You and me, we're all fearful of what's going to happen, especially thinking about end of the world, right? So, for example, in 2008, when the market crisis took place, everybody started pulling their money out. Everybody started pulling their money out. Probably the time the Dow Jones went down to 6,000 something, and probably today it's over 20,000. Imagine if you left the money in, how much compounding money was lost simply because people thought it was the end of the world. That's what it means by end of the world. You have to be ready for a crisis like that. You have to manage the times when 90% of the world thinks that it's end of the world. And you have to be ready for those times, and this is how you do that. So when you actually knows how to look at crisis, you can actually bank on it and become wealthy. For example, during crisis times, there's going to be a lot of sale. People will sell their exotics, because they can no longer afford them. People sell their artwork, probably a fifth of the price of the artwork. They sell their houses half of the price. All of these things are on sale when they have the end of the world mentality. So it is important for strategy for this time, because especially today, some may even think that the market will tank again. Can you feel that? I don't know. We are in this again. We mentioned about being in a perfect storm: the inflation, the war, the oil price hike, etc. It may not happen. Well, it's happening right now. This is probably a time to think about the end of the world mentality, right? Or what I'm trying to say is it's going to happen, probably in the next 20 years. But the key here, you have to be ready for this type of an opportunity. So when you are ready for this type of an opportunity, it is important to you to have cash. You have to have that's the most important thing here. You have cash aside for the end of the world mentality, because when the crisis hits, all of the prices all of these things are sold half prices, fifth of the price, and you are prepared and ready for it because there's going to be an opportunity behind it. What do? you buy them out, right? So if you're prepared, you can actually take advantage of this. Well, guys, I've talked to you guys a lot about two mindsets of people, about rules of money. And that depends on you. You turn to play the money game. If you're on, you're on. You just have to understand how to make things happen for you. And again, guys, it's very excited how to look at this at this stage. But then again, you have to really know how to understand. I mean, the rules of money, and this will not hurt you, but actually elevate you and be able for you to build your wealth, before you even know it. Again, guys, thank you so much for listening to our episode today about rule of money. My name again is Enrico Pobre. Until our next episode, magandang gabi, bayan! Thank you!